Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've separated my object into its relevant pieces, and I'm going to sort the UVs out. You'll notice that this one's white. I've actually added UV. So I created a map with that one. There you go. Oh, yeah, if I hide all the other ones, you better see a bit better. There you go. So that's the UVs that I made on that one. It's got a white material on it, which is a bit crap, so it doesn't show very well. And because I've created that as a texture map, I've filled it with white. So let me just go back and undo that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same with the rest of the pieces, so that it's all ready for taking into Substance Painter. And actually, I'm going to use Substance Painter to create the UVs. Sorry, not create the UVs. Make the maps for the ambient occlusion, the normal maps, those sorts of things. I'm going to leave that down to Substance Painter. What I will do though is, once I've used the poly paint on this in Zbrush, if I get time, I'm going to come back and do the poly painting and create UVs from poly paint. So just to see what. One, I want to see what the comparison is, but also I want to see how it'll show how powerful Substance Painter is, and it can be a good idea to do a base paint in poly paint and Zbrush. I've noticed a lot of people do that. They sort of put the base on and everything, and then move it in. It helps during the modelling process. Anyway, so I'm going to get on and do this. So if I select this section here, which is the sort of handle for moving the seat around, let's fill the screen with that. Let's make it a bit bigger. Whoops. Second one. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Z plugin. I'll actually put that on the side there. I'm going to use UV Master. So we're going to use the controlled painting. But in fact, before we start, I want to be working on a clone. So if you press that, we're now working on a clone of the object, which is shown here. You can see because all the subtools are gone. So this is our original object that we've our low poly. So working on a clone so that we can copy. Sorry, it's there. So now we're working on our clone so that we can create the UVs on this and then copy them back to the object that we're working on. So we worked on clone, enable control painting, and the first thing to do is, if you press enable control painting, you've got this protect, attract and erase. So protecting is protecting areas where you don't want UVs, you don't want seams putting in the UVs, and attract is where you would like the seams to be put. It'll get them as close as possible. So you'll notice that it's picked this specific colour down here. So if we just go fill object, it fills the whole object. It's strange, I wonder why it hasn't filled the end. Never mind, I've got lazy mouse switched on actually. Don't need that on. So now the whole object is red. So all we're going to do is, from here, is we're going to decide where we want the seams. The size of the brush is far too big. You can always zoom in. So now I'll go to attract, and we'll go. So if this is the front of the object, we want the seams round the back, where we're not going to see them. So let's start by hold shift, and I can make, oh hang on, that's going to make a straight line based on the object on the screen. So if I do it there, hold shift, there we go, just about get it. Go right across. So by holding shift, it's drawn a straight line based on the your screen. So that's a straight line. You'll notice that it's parallel with the line at the top and the bottom of the canvas. So, but the object itself is obviously in 3D, and it moves around like it's bent. So obviously that's why the UV has gone down like that. It doesn't matter too much because it's the back of the object, so I'm not worried too much about that. So what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll just go around this. In fact, that might be a little bit too big for that, really. See if we can get it a bit smaller. And just go around this edge. Oops. Let's just check I'm not going too far off around there. So go around the edge like that. So that cuts that end off completely. I'll make a new island out of that. And same with, zoom out. Same with this end. Why is my bloody pivot points out? I'll sort that out in a minute. So go around this piece here. Right, I'll just pause it as I'm doing this. Okay, so you'll notice now that you can see the blue here where I've come round. I've done it at the back. Alright, so what I'm going to do is unclick that and unwrap. Okay, there it goes, unwrap to one poly, one island generated. So if we go down, we'll go flatten. No, oops, that's not done it how I want it to. I wonder if I need to leave that on actually. Let's unwrap it again. Flatten. Huh. It's not cut the ends off. That's strange. I would have thought it'd have cut those ends off. I wonder why it hasn't done that. That's interesting. Right, I'll find out why. I'll put a message out and just have a look online, see what I've done wrong there. Yeah. Okay, I've just had a look, and yeah, it's pretty unusual actually. Let's take the texture off that. So I've gone back to the working model, the low poly, just to check to see if I had the same issue last time. And what I've done is exactly the same. I've cut these out by painting around the model. I'll just unmorph the UVs. Unmorph. So you've got a model, right? Okay. So you can see these sections. I wanted to cut them off completely. So I did, and they've become an island of their own. Interesting. So I'm not sure why, when I've done it with the other piece, although maybe this is the issue, maybe this is why people don't use, let's go back to the clone, don't use the UV master, because it's not as good as other programs. Anyway, I'll carry on in this manner. I'll use this one. I'll try the next piece in the same manner, and I'll show you, what the results are. Okay, so I've just pasted the UVs onto there, and then as you can see, it's kept these attached. So that's exactly what the UVs are looking like. So that's fine. I've put them on there. So I'm going to go and do exactly the same process with the other pieces, and then apply them all to the low poly.